This is my second video on the series of 18 things before 18. So, this second skill that I want to say to you all is speech, right? So, firstly, I want to make sure that you all know that I have no script or something in front of me when I'm speaking these things. I speak straight from my heart, straight from my experiences, and straight from things that I have faced growing up uh, to be in this teenhood, right? In 1 year or so, like not 1 year, in another 2, 3 months or so, my teenhood is going to get completed. I'm going to turn 20, and when I turn 20, it's one of the nicest times of the year when you have way less responsibilities, than I think for at least for most people. So that's the reason if you see in most of my long form videos, I tend to close my eyes because I'm recollecting, I'm rephrasing the thoughts that are raw in my mind to convey it in the best form to you all. So I'm sorry if I look away. I'm sorry if I'm even now I'm looking away. I'm sorry if I'm not sounding very professional with a great camera setup or a camera angle. So right now I'm just leaning my phone against my laptop, keeping it at an angle so that my face is covered, so that even if I look away, I don't it doesn't look odd like I'm staring into the blank wall or something, right? Uh, so this is what I want to say to you all. Speech or speaking is the greatest form of skill a human can have. I think it's by far the best skill, or not leave the skill part of it, right? Not everything has to be a skill or anything, right? Most of the times you do things without being too good at it, and I think that's the best part of being humans. We humans are surrounded by people. We are surrounded by situations where we are constantly expected to portray ourselves or put ourselves in a way that we are good at. We like, let's say you dance only because you dance good. You sing only because you sing good. You recite a poem just because you have this ability to connect with people. But the thing is, most of the time that doesn't happen like that. Most of the time you might enjoy doing something which you are not necessarily good at. And I think that this phase of life, that um, before turning 18, is the phase where you don't have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulder, so you can experiment a lot of things. So I will say, I have interest in a lot of fields. So I am an engineer myself. So I'm doing my engineering. So I learn a lot of new things. I learn a lot of new skills. AI, machine learning, deep learning. I learn the maths behind it. I write blogs about it. I do coding. I do different things, right? I build projects around AI and different things. But by far, the best things that I have learned up until this point are from people around me. These are from people who, irrespective of the age, have said something to me or did something that I have learned so much from. Don't overcomplicate life, right? The thing is, with talking, what I mean is you learn a lot. So what I mean is, you don't even if you don't learn a skill, you learn a life lesson, or you learn an experience, right? So let me tell you or share with you a few stories, right? So one time, I usually travel in train from college to home, right? Or home to college. So I usually take sleeper or third AC, like third AC, as in there's something called third economy, not third AC. So these seats are fairly a bit narrow, and yeah. So the train that I take to college passes via Bangalore. So a lot of people who are from Chennai but live in Bangalore take this train. So in third economy, mostly most of the people who take third economy are people who get down at Bangalore. So if you take the 3 o'clock train, it reaches Bangalore at 8 p.m. in the night. Right? 3 p.m. you reach at 8 p.m. So people don't sleep, right? Usually these are people of office going people who went home for vacation or went home for the weekend and who are returning back. So when I sit, right, so most of these people are not sleeping. They don't use the berth to sleep, but they rather sit down, they watch something, or they are working on something. So every time I travel in this train, I take side upper because side lower is one of the seat where mostly people sit, right? People prefer to sit there. So every time I've gone, right, I have met bank managers, I have met 60-year-old, 70-year-old uncles who have got their children married and who are staying alone with their, wife in Chennai, and they travel during the weekend to go and meet their grandchildren in Bangalore. It teaches you a lot about life experiences. It teaches you a lot about the human connections that people have. And I talk to people about business. you know I've spoken to an uncle. I don't remember his name. I don't know where. I don't know his company. I don't know nothing about him. All I remember talking to him about is his business. So he actually works in scrap, right? So he scrap business is basically electronic scrap, to be more specific. So let's say you discard your laptop, he breaks them into pieces. He separates the metal, the plastic, the components that can be reused, etc., etc., and he sells them to people who want to use it and stuff. So he is specifically working in the electronic business, like electronic scrap business. So I was talking to him. He knew 4 5 languages. And one thing that he said to me, right? He asked, "You're from where?" And I said, "I'm from Tamil Nadu." And he said, "Okay, so you speak Tamil. And what are the languages?" I said, "I speak Tamil, English, and I can fairly understand Hindi, but I'm not very confident to speak." He said, "Learn few more languages." I asked, "Oh, why is it?" And he said, "No, don't think of language as a means to, uh, language is something that often gets very political, especially in India, right? People say, "Oh, I don't want to learn Hindi, I don't want to learn Telugu, I don't want to learn Malayalam." There's a lot of politics around language itself. But he said, when you learn a language, you connect with the people. You connect with people on a very personal level. That's why your own mother tongue language feels more personal to you than a movie in another language, because that actors look like you, that actors speak like you. The family dynamics that is shown in the movie is similar to how you have your family, right? So I think knowing different languages, just reading a little bit about different people's culture, their traditions, how they eat, what are the type of food they eat. And once I met an uncle who does sugarcane and cotton business in northern Karnataka. Because in northern Karnataka, there is red soil and black soil, and these two soil is very good for these two production. So I learned some geography lesson as well. I mean, learned that red and black soil are good for sugarcane and cotton when I was in school, but I didn't remember it because I didn't associate it with someone, right? I didn't associate it with an experience. But you remember things way better when you associate it with an experience, right? So let's say you travel on a train. Sometimes we're just too stuck with putting on a headphone, or we are watching reels or listening to music, and watching, or either we watch outside or we are on the phone. And most of the time we're on the phone. And I'm not saying I know I'm someone who's always communicating and interacting with people. I'm very introverted. I don't like to take the first step to talk to people. But I'm very chill with my friends, but to take the first step is very hard for me. But sometimes the opposite person is also waiting for the first step. You know, Especially when it's the person of the opposite gender, they have the hesitance to, approach to you and talk. And especially when it's an adult, they don't know how you are, right? So they don't know whether you'll be comfortable with, talking with them. So they don't usually reach out to you, right? So when you're young, you don't have some prestige, or you don't have something to keep up. You're not like some celebrity that everyone is yearning to talk to. No, you're just a common person who's just learning about life, who's just figuring out about life. So just go out there, just talk to people, just interact with them, and they will have so many experiences, right? And one thing with talking is that talking or interacting with people or communicating with people has become some sort of, a uh, very transactional. Like, oh, this person works at Microsoft. So if I talk to him now, and in 2 years when I go, pass out of college, I can ask him for a referral. Oh, this person is a professor at this, so he could probably give me a research internship. Sometimes conversations are not this complex. Human life is very simple. It is just interaction of people. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't have or set some tag behind it to, you know, uh, try to get out of something. Like, if you get something out of it, good, fair enough. If you even don't, it's fine. Like, just talk to people in a very raw way. I think that's what makes us all human, and that's what will connect all of us in a more personal manner. So that's very important. And when you are talking, right, don't just try to look for what you want out of it. Like, they say, oh, I'm from, like, let's say you're from Mumbai, and they say, oh, I'm from Kerala. And just don't say, like, oh, Kerala, okay. It just makes the conversation weird, because see, you already don't have so many things in common, right? You are from Kerala, so you're from Mumbai, and this person is from Kerala. So this person and you don't have something in common. You don't speak the same language, you don't come from the same place, so you may not have a lot of things in common. So if you just say oh and just skip the question, it's just going to become bland, right? So what you have to do is, you should ask, oh, where is it in Kerala? Where in Kerala? And they say, I'm from Arapura, right? So now you have, like, oh, I don't know Harapura. Again, conversation just ends there. What you rather say is, oh, Harapura, where is it exactly? I've never been to Kerala. And then they say, oh, it's here. You ask, oh, what is it famous for? And then they say something. And you'll be like, oh, damn, just, don't say, oh, damn, even then. Like, I'm saying, oh, damn, not because you have to say, oh, damn, to something they say. I mean to say that show genuine interest in getting to know about the other person, right? Only then will they be interested in your life, right? You can't expect them to know everything about you and you know nothing about them, right? It can be, and conversations can be very simple, right? Sometimes you don't have to get a phone number from them, you don't have to get their mail ID, you don't have to get their LinkedIn, you don't even have to meet them ever again, right? Ever. It's fine, right? Every conversation doesn't have to happen again ever, right? It can be a very simple thing that happens once and you get something out of it, they get something out of it, like something as in an experience out of it, and you just go on live your lives, not without having to converse again, right? So if the conversation leads towards connecting or contacting someone each other, like, or they initiate, or you really want to know them, or you feel like it'll be good, then it's fine. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong to interact with people or something, but do this, okay? And at the same time, there's something called spatial intelligence, right? Being able to read the room, right? Let's say they were talking about on phone, they were talking about some let's say they were talking about sports, or they are watching sports, right? uh, just ask them about the sport, right? And when you are talking to someone, be a beginner, be a learner, be curious, right? Have you, when you were a child, right, when you were so young, you used to ask your parents, right? Amma, appa, how does the this work? Why should, why are we staying here, and why are our grandparents staying here? These questions are so naive, right? These questions are so unfiltered. You don't put so much thought into asking, like, oh, what will our parents think if we ask where they are from, why they stay there? You don't tag along a lot of things, right? That doesn't mean you be disrespectful or something, but I mean to say that be natural with them, right? Just talk to them to get to know them better. But sometimes, in some cases, you understand that the opposite person is, keeping a little bit of distance, or like you're asking, oh, where you're from, and then they are saying here, and you're like, oh, where is it? And then they don't answer very well, or s- probably they don't want to go in detail with it, because again, you are a stranger, so they are also thinking, like, why is this person talking to you? Because it is not very common in our country to reach out to people randomly and talk, right? So it was common, but it was made uncommon after the phone culture. So, like, let's say they are a little hesitant, just keep that boundary, just give them a space, and then start, okay? So I, being an introvert, you might wonder how I used to start my conversations, right? It's very simple, very, very simple. I start with the most obvious things that I can ask, right? So sometimes when I'm on the bus and I want to talk to a person who's sitting beside me, right? Probably he or she might also be bored. So if I want to ask her, like let's say I want to initiate a conversation with her, I will just say, which stop is it? Or what is the next stop? Or let's say your stop is stop B. You say, okay, when will stop B come? Right? You might already know the answer to this, right? And then she will say, this will take this much time, or this long, or something. Or she might say, I actually don't know. I'm not around from here. And then we're like, oh, and you just give a pause. And then you'll be like, oh, you're going now for your work or you're studying? And then she'll be like, no, 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 I'm actually studying. And she's like, oh, okay, where is it? Where do you study? And then she says, I study at this college. And they're like, oh, okay, where is it exactly? Oh, okay, okay. And then which year are you in? Which department are you in? Oh, if let's say it's a department that you already know, you'll be like, oh, I've heard things about it. Let's say it's a department that you don't know about. Let's say they're saying photonics. I recently met a girl who's from department of photonics in the physics, right? Photons. So she's from that, and I'm very interested in physics. So I was like very interested when I was talking to her. It was a very fairly very short span conversation, but I was very invested in it. So ask them like, oh, what do you study about? Oh, is it like research oriented, or what are the job opportunities? How is it in India? So this is how you start, right? So if it's work, you ask like this. Let's say this person is a housewife and you're like, oh, auntie, how does time go at home? And then you're like, okay, okay, so you make, and then she says, oh, I cook this, I cook that. You'll be like, oh, okay, what is the nice food, like what is the very nice food that you cook? And then she says a dish. You're like, if you have tried it, say, oh, I've had this one, it's very nice, and you comment about it. And then let's say she says a dish that you don't know, just say, oh, I have heard about it, but I thought of trying it, right? It's very simple, right? But the biggest part is fear. Fear comes like as if they are going to rob you, they are going to do something to you. What will they think of you? What if they don't respond? The worst thing they could do is not respond, right? What else are they going to do, right? And at the same time, I mentioned about spatial intelligence, right? Spatial intelligence also involves understanding your safety, your boundary, their safety, and their boundary, right? Sometimes the conversation will go well, but then after some time, you feel like that person is getting too personal, or too kind of too intrusive. Like they're trying to get some information out of you, like, hey, can I have your phone number or something, very fairly quick, even without a reason. You don't like it, just be like, uh okay, and just try to move away from the space. Okay, it is not wrong, because people you meet, right, that's how society is, right? Whether you like it or not, the society is not a group of homogeneous people. All these people are not very similar to each other. All these people are not like people like you, right? If everyone is like you, then what is the need to interact? You know how they are, right? The very reason for interaction is people are heterogeneous, people are very different, people come from very unique experiences. So every experience will shape the way you see the world, shape the way you see things. So that's the very reason you are speaking to people, you're interacting with people. So don't overcomplicate it, right? Let's say it's just getting weird, just try to move off from the scenario. If you're in a bus, just get down from the bus and take the next bus. If you're in the train, just try to go for a, go to the next coach, just sit in three coupes away, or something like that. Or if you're in an upper berth, just go to your upper berth and sleep. Do something like this, right? Just try to avoid it. If it just gets weird, it's fine, right? Some conversations, even with your very close friends, if you meet them after some time, it tends to get weird, it tends to get awkward. So think of it like that, and don't tag too much emotions around it, and don't let one bad emotion with interaction, or one bad experience with interaction, shape the way you feel or think about interaction. Interactions are very nice, and I have learned so many damn things from interacting with people around me, and I think I will continue to do it. Right? Just talk to them, No one thinks too much, bro. Like if some kid is coming and asking you, Akka, which what are you doing in life, or Anna, what are you doing in life, you don't think too much, right? Like you're like, oh, this kid is nice. That's how adults look at us, right? They fairly look at us as kids. That doesn't mean everyone's nice. I don't mean to say the world is, a bed of roses. Some people are creepy, some people are weird. So if you look at or see such people, just try to move around them, and that's why spatial intelligence matters. Because such creepy people, you can very easily find out if you're able to read the room, if you're able to look at their conversations. If you see them talking very rude on the phone, using too much of, very foul language, try to avoid such people, right? Especially when you're traveling alone or something, right? So yeah, um, it's fun, right? Talk to people, interact, live a life. Don't be, stuck up in a cocoon. Like, oh, I'm an introvert. Introvert is such a blanket terminology. No, everyone can interact, right? Everyone can interact. I am the worst. Like my mother used to scold me for being too much, very closed book, or very, very to myself. I don't talk with people. Even if I sit, I just smile. If they, I'm the worst person to interact with. I used to be the worst person to interact with. If someone asks me something, I'll just answer like in one word or two words, and then I'll just move away from there. My mother used to be like, just talk now. But the thing is, it comes from within. It's not because someone told you to talk, but it should come from within, right? All this that I'm saying is fairly useless uh, if you don't think or retrospect yourself, thinking why we should interact with people or how it can affect us. So yeah, right, try interacting once or twice, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Thank you, and we'll see the third video. I'm not trying to rush these videos because these videos come very raw, so that it's getting conveyed in a very cool manner. I'm able to talk with you. It's a very personal, very cool way I want to do this, not very rigid and have a structure. And next video will come this Friday, or next video will come this Monday. I don't want to do it, okay? Even if it's going to take 18 years for me to release these 18 videos, I don't mind, because this time of my year is so fresh, right? It's so much in my brain. I won't forget it, unless I have, dementia or something. So these experiences I will carry forward the rest of my life. So I will keep sharing these videos in my own pace. I'm not having some, 500k subscribers who are waiting for me to post the video next tomorrow or next week or something. And even if there is, I will do things in my own pace, because you should do things slowly. You should do things out of interest, not in a very rigid structure with some, first topic done, second topic done. I have no, like, I don't know what my third thing is going to be, right? So that's how it is. Like whenever I think of something, I just talk it, and if I'm free, I just record it. That's how it works. So thank you for watching, and yeah, stay around, I guess. Yeah, bye.